How's everybody doing today? Wanted to hop on here and make another video. Wanted to go over this time how to trade the Asian session. Um, and you see the title, you see what's on your screen, and you think this is a fucking joke. I'm not joking, right? I, when I first started, I had a little problem of, being on the charts 24/7. And it didn't create an over trading problem because I understood when I needed to trade and what I needed to look out for. But with working, right? I'm not able to trade the PM session, so I, wake up in the morning, trade, then go to work, come back, and after a long day at work, I used to kind of fiend a little bit to trade. And I would always send my trades I take, in the Discord, and it'd get noticed here and there. I'm not really worried about that, but that just comes from people asking me to make a video like this. Um, because I mean, this is how I would pass evals and just full port. Because it's not like the algorithm stops. If you want to be a nerd, so per se. But it's not like it stops during Asia, right? It looks ugly. The wicks are terrible. There's gaps. Blah 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 blah. But I mean, if you can read DOL and even sometimes just a simple high time frame PDA and a high time frame SMT, it's really not that hard, and it doesn't even have to be a 1 hour, right? It can be a 15 minute, right? Obviously, if it's a 1 hour, that's great. But in saying this, we're talking about full porting, like 50K evals, 10 or 20 contracts, um, and passing in 30, 60 ticks, right? And so that leaves a super small stop loss, right? But we're turtle souping in Asia, so if it goes past 15 ticks, we deserve to get stopped anyway. You know what I'm saying? Right? So this is going to be high accuracy, high RR, Asia trading. That's all we do, right? And this is not a joke, right? This is actually like how I'll pass fundeds. Not every time, because I mean I trade in New York, so it's either or. But say I wake or say I come home and super bored, like I just have nothing to do. I don't give a fuck. I'll hop on the chart. Like I really don't care. Keep it in mind, that's not what you need to do, right? You need to use your brain, not be on the chart 24/7. Because I see a million people doing that and they're on the chart 24/7 for the wrong reason. I'm not trying to hate, but I just hate time, seeing time spent, not productively like that. Because if you're gonna be on the chart, at least be on the chart to do productive work. So obviously, with all the key factors such as high time frame PDAs, right? We're looking out for the order flow, looking out for high resistance liquidity runs versus low resistance liquidity runs. Our high time frame profile is always in effect. I'm having such a trouble with that. Good lord, right? I like to use quarterly theory in Asian session, right? A bit more than I do in New York. I'll throw it up in both sessions. Honestly, I use it both. That doesn't really matter. All right. Always want to look out for an SMT. 1 hour power of three is very important if you want to catch an expanding move or a breakdown move, right? We can also look at our power of three on the 15 minute, which sometimes wants to consolidate. Just got to wait it out. If you're at the low, like the low is going to be protected. So if it wants to consolidate, it's going to consolidate. There's a certain time that if it keeps consolidating, I'm going to get out or put stop to break even. There's also a major time just not to trade Asia. Lots of news events can cause that, right? If we have NFP, like I'm not going to trade Asia Thursday night, right? I usually don't trade Asia anymore, right? Because I get the job done in New York. I luckily haven't had to trade Asia, right? But I still do it. I don't know what I'm talking about. I trade like in New York at like the 6 a.m. open or 5 a.m. whatever you want to call it. It's 5 a.m. or p.m. for me, right? I traded that this past Sunday, and I'll show a screenshot of that and why I did what I did, just so you can kind of see, because it's almost like a New York Open or any Open, right? We just have a big gap or don't have a gap, and right can form a new week opening gap. want to expand from it or come back into it, right? So it just depends what you're seeing on the chart. In a split second, you could blow an account just because you want to risk 10 cons, but certain times you can risk certain times you can risk 10, and certain times you can't. You just gotta have a brain, right? Main thing for the most high probability, full porting, passing funded trades. We want to look for our starting range in quarter one. After 7:30, I have two ideal trade setup times that I'll look for. And if we haven't hit them, either of those, right, or we're just consolidating, I'm getting off the chart. Okay? So from 7:53 to 8:38, I'll be looking for a trade. If I'm in a trade and, have a runner or whatnot, just stop break even. There's no reason to get out unless it's a really obvious SMT, and we're just not going to keep expanding. There's a certain point where you just need to be happy with what you have in Asia, right? Maybe you can catch like a previous day high and draw on liquidity or something like that if it's obviously bullish, but there's no reason to try and get 500 ticks in Asia. That's just simply not going to happen. Excuse me. Right? So we have an in-dog, in-wog? Where's our 1 hour and 15-minute structure saying we'll go? Right? And we'll show that, right? If we have a VI on the 5-minute or 15-minute open low, the candle opens with a VI, then we come into the VI and close, so there's no VI now. We open low, high, close, so then we close with the VI, right? Things to look out for. You obviously don't want to hold your position too long, right? Because we're never going to go 300 ticks in Asia, no matter how bad you want it. It's never, you might get 1 in 100. That might, maybe. It's been forever since I don't even remember how the largest Asia session I saw was, just because that's not how my brain works. I'm not worried about Asia session ranges. So obviously we want to see, how do we know if we're going to retrace, range, or keep expanding? And once in profit, are we looking for another entry, right? Or just staying out of the market? All right, and then obviously as well, we said when should we not trade Asia? We'll get into a couple of Asia trades to show, what I'm thinking in the time. And then we'll kind of go over some market profiles and what we're seeing during that Asia time and why we do and do not trade it. So here we have the first trade, right? We can see stop below the low. We have an SMT with ES. All right. With this market profile, we had the in-dog that reacted slower. We continued lower after what seemed to be an X manipulation cycle, then down, right? So after this consolidation, or excuse me, right, we had an XXM, right, with this third quarter being a manipulation down, maybe taking a lower SMT, and then expanding upwards in that fourth quarter, right? From this expansion, we'd like to see, right, we started accumulating again. We saw our sweep into the fair value gap, right, down here, right, straight across, right? So now I'd like to see us continue higher to take out these highs and then maybe reverse here, okay? So obviously with the gaps and everything, you can pick out every VI, but after we sweep the lows, have a long wick, right? Close within the wick with a wickless green candle and continue higher, right? Leave VIs and a fair value gap. I wanted to see it unfilled because I wanted to see this inversed, right? And maybe continue higher and then accumulate right here. But this is the 15-minute fair value gap, or the 1 and 5-minute fair value gap. Okay, VI, order block, wickless screen. And then we don't break the slow. Kind of chop around, chop around. I didn't have quarterly theory up for this one because I was mainly just going off price session. And then another key point here. With the 5-minute candle, we open, right? You can see 30 seconds ago we opened, and we opened with a VI. Right? None of these candles have opened with a VI except this one. And you see we took the previous candle low with it, right, on the 5-minute chart. So we open with a VI. So this candle, I'd like us to see continue higher and take out this sell side liquidity, right? Also with this 5-minute candle, we open with a VI low, So after this low, I'd like to see high, then close. Right, we create a breaker here, then leave our breakaway gap. Okay, and then here's where you can't freak out, right? Long wick, right? Kind of edging by side, no SMT, right? We create an SMT with EQ, or ES with NQ, right? We take this high, and ES hasn't taken the high, right? But I mark out here that it's not high probability, and that's simply because we're not into a higher time frame PDA, right? So we create a 1 minute range, sweep range low. So next should be range high, and then continue higher to fill the wick, right? And then also same thing on this 1 minute candle here. We open higher with a VI, low. We want to leave a fair value gap, right? And continue higher. So the VI pushes us close higher. So here we have another one on February. This one's the 13th. Okay. So we have our expansion upwards. We're at 9:25. Okay. We have at 6 p.m. a big candle downwards. We react up. And so you could have done the same thing here with the end dog, right? You sell, then you could have put stop at break even and most likely got out here. But we continue on, right? Create a swing high, create a breaker lower, come into the fair value gap, end dog, break lower, up to the order block, break lower, up to the order block, maybe SMT at this high, respond, come up, create a swing low. I think we SMT'd at this high, but either way, responded in to the green candle and then started reacting lower. So we could have maybe what I like to see, obviously, sweep this high, create another small time resistance high. Or no, another lower time frame resistance high. But if we SMT'd here, there's no reason for us to. And also us leaving the equal highs in Asia, right? You don't always need to look at them in Asia because the wicks can vary from broker to broker, but as well, the wicks in Asia are gonna look like that, and I feel like it's purposely because they're fucked up from time to like, obviously we sweep this into the fair value gap, react lower. But anyway, so all of these highs should be, right, they're creating low resistance, but they should be high resistance for the time that we're in, right? We could come and sweep them maybe in the London session or the New York session, right? But there's no reason for us to come above these now that we've, created a high time frame, high resistance high, responded, broke lower with the end dog, reacted, swing high, rate stops, react to the end dog and the BPR, right? As we said. So now we're here. We create an order block, right? You can mark out this whole area from this high, right? So stop was above this high, looking for us to continue lower. And this one's pretty short, so we'll just kind of skip to the end. Swing low again. Right, and also when engineering liquidity in turtle soups, we're going to have to create those swing highs. Right. Obviously, sometimes we drop and create a breakaway gap. But with these swing highs, right, you're just engineering liquidity for the upside. It may mean we need to return later, so you don't want to hold for, right, 400 or 500 ticks, even though you can, right? But if you're just a beginner, you don't need to be doing that. And not in Asia session, right? Just in New York, because New York will create these swing highs and swing lows for failure swings and engineered liquidity. Right, so then you see we just continue lower here. We go to take out these three low resistance lows, right? And I'm in 10 contracts on NASDAQ and then as well as 100 on micro E-mini. You'll see them pop up here. Oops. Go to back to the end here. Right, 100 micro E-minis as well. And then this was another Apex eval, and we'll go to the end. Hopefully this will just drop away so you can see it at the end there. or it's gonna come back. But yeah, each time you're doing this, I'm making like 3K just to pass the eval, right? 30 ticks straight to here. And the reason I don't do only 10 and go for 60 is because I found with Apex and also that 60 tick range that it's often likely to retrace, and I can more often than not get an injection of volatility that's more than 30 ticks around this certain time and this certain time within. And obviously, if you can see the times, it's quarterly theory, right? And it's the two middle quarters of the two middle quarters of our first quarter of Asian session, right? And sometimes I'll trade after midnight, but I usually just, let London do its thing and then trade New York open and AM. So we can see here, this was back in February the 12th. We can see here the structure. We have a breaker, right? We wick into the breaker inside the fair value gap, deliver bearishly, create 3 equal lows at previous day low, come up to the order block, right? We do create 2 equal highs, but I think we also had an SMT. I just don't think I marked it out, right? So, you see we sweep, reaction, create the 3 equal highs, and I also was not in the habit of writing out my trades, but I was in probably around this candle, or this candle, because I knew this would be a breakaway gap and get left unfilled. And you can see the time as well is roughly around 10:10, so I'd be in around 10:04, 10:05. This is already 13 seconds long, so I'd probably cut it beforehand. But we have our reversal, right? Create a CISD. Let's go back there. Right, there's our 15-minute. You can see we wicked up, probably had an SMT here into the higher time frame, fair value gap above, right after inversing this fair value gap, closing within the wicks, right? So then we should continue lower with the manipulation, distribution, then expansion lower. Create multiple wicks, have a big BI here, create another breaker. And this is where a lot of people would get scared in the Asia range, just because it starts to come up very quickly here. As you can see, all the candles and wicks and bodies we have here. Alright, we're just chopping around, not doing anything super obvious. Come up quickly and respond quickly. And I wanted us to close below the previous candle just as quickly as we came up. But you see we have this long wick, so we should fill it, fill this one, and then break to this fair value gap. And then as well, you can see I'm in 14 cons. This might have been on a PA. Or yeah, it was a PA. But I think I passed may have passed one. Yeah, I did here at the end. See, I'm in the PA and then, oh Jesus. You see Apex, and then it's right at 5,300. I don't know if you can see that. Can't see the PNL, but it's right at 3,000. Then here's another one of those situations where we had an end dog, right? And we just reacted lower, wicked up maybe a little bit, and then just blasted lower. After doing this, obviously you're like, damn, you should have shorted, right? Wasn't there to catch that move, so I'm still trading Asia. I want to trade. I'm expecting what you see is Romeo's 3 candle method right here. You have 1, 2, and then this green candle reacts to the order block and or the wick and burst higher. So wanted it pretty quickly here, and you'll see we get it. And also Buddy was hating because it's 2024 and we still use quarterly theory, but right, I'm not really stressing. And he was never mind, whatever. You can see this is right within 820, 815, maybe a little bit before, right? And this wasn't a pass, but this was just a, I think this was maybe a top step. Yeah, this was a top step account that I was just trying to get another $200 day on. Just being a bitch. Right, but you see, we create an accumulation. Right, obviously this is an X manipulation. So we're going to be looking for distribution in this third quarter. And so, obviously, Q3 of Q3 right here. What are we going to be looking for? Big candles. All right, pretty obvious. I say obvious, but that's just how you use quarterly theory. See, as soon as we create this VI, swing high, order block, it's over with. And we're obviously in a higher time frame key range because I haven't tried longing anywhere, right? And the whole move down. I had this marked, blew past it, so I just waited to the next one, right? Not the best thing to do, but we were also not past a high time frame like liquidity low, right? And it's Asia session, so I wasn't looking to. I mean, like I said, we're not gonna just keep blasting 1,000 ticks lower. And that doesn't just mean buy, right? Obviously, I looked for a reaction, then bought. Okay, so see, into the end of Q3, right before the end of Q3, we expand higher. Okay, then as we saw, right, coming into quarter three, we only expected bigger candles, right? After the swing low, reacting to the CISD, okay? And don't ask me why I pulled my stop right there. This was a long time ago. I was just aiming for $200 days, but I was still being a little girl. And then see, at the same time, we created a 15-minute BPR. This is all I have marked as the 15-minute BPR, right? I marked that as an IFEG. I remember now. It wasn't the high time frame. I just didn't have the high time frame key area marked, right? And then we continue higher. So here's the trade that I was talking about with the NWOG, right? We have the buy right here, 514, and then the sell at 544. It's like, I don't know, it's like 100 and it's either 125 or 175 ticks. I can't really remember, right? So keeping in mind, this is our profile before the NWOG, right? 4 p.m. Thursday, right? We didn't have a Friday because of Good Friday. So what I was looking for personally was for us to sweep into the wick right here at open and then continue higher. Then we hit the order block after already redelivering. And I think there was a lower time frame order block right above this that we redelivered from, swept, then ran bullishly. So I wanted to see this low protected. So I said to myself, if we gap up on this open, right, and it looks pretty decent, I'm just going to go ahead and long it. So coming into the open, we'll go down to the 15-second chart so we can go one candle at a time. This is how we opened, right? We came down to 114, and I said, damn, it's a pretty long wick. As I've been saying, in order flow, high time frame, we usually like to fill the wicks unless, we're coming in for a strong retracement. And the moderate, I say moderate, but the hourly or the 15-minute is bearish for the moment, but we're weekly or daily bullish. So with this keeping in mind, right? Two equal highs above, these highs above, right? I longed it here. and then previous day hit, and I was out. Right? I'm just probably definitely around there. Yeah, 143. Yeah, because that's one of the two. Yeah, that makes sense. It's definitely around there. So it's mine was 144, so two cons. And you can do the math on that, right? In the matter of not even 15 seconds. Well, yeah, 15 seconds. And then I was out right here, right? And that's just seeing the NWOG and reacting to price action and order flow and knowing that that long wick's going to get filled to and through. All right, now we're back to the notes. I didn't want to make it super long because some people are going to see this as a joke, right? Some are not. You can do whatever you want to. I'm not telling you to go, full port every trade in Asia, right? All right, I just do it because I can read the order flow and just read the chart. Then some people can't, some people can, some people don't trade Asia, some people do. I mean, there's a whole bunch of delinquents in the Discord. Like they all trade Asia, right? They need to get off the charts, but they all trade it, and it's not the hardest thing in the world, right? And even if you do take a loss, it's 10 ticks. Like we've gone over with good risk management. I mean, 10 ticks is, right? We wipe our ass with 10 ticks. Um, so yeah, there's the notes, there's the video. Hope everybody enjoyed, right? Just don't do anything stupid, right? This isn't a joke, but at the same time, it is a joke, right? Just, use your brain. Don't do anything stupid. Obviously not financial advice to go fucking put your whole account down in Asia, because clearly it's not the smartest thing to do, because you only move at certain times, but sometimes we don't even move during those times, and you could take a break even trade, or just sit for an hour when you could get in one or two candles and be done for the day, right? But I hope everybody has a good day, good week, right? NFP Friday this week. Hope I can get some good executions. Make a video, maybe make a trade recap how I caught 1,000 ticks this NFP Friday. I'm looking forward to it. And I'll see y'all then. Y'all have a good one.